Now, we have to dive deep to find a lot of these great literary minds and people who contributed to our society in order to build us up so we could circle the square. Not readily available, found in books, stores, or school libraries, or even cultural centers. You go into these cultural centers, and let's just say the depth is not there. Sometimes we're kept under these systemic cultural controls by those who want us to have a certain narrative. But dive deep. Go through bibliographies. Listen to those great people of the past, those master teachers, those Dr. Benz, those either Van Sertimus or who have we read so far this year? Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, Professor James Smalls. Find out bibliographies that are harder to come by, yet more valuable. So let's dive right in. As I'm calling it, the Nxgger Bible. I have been given an Nxgger history, one that you might be better comprehend and find your place in. Maybe we will. I have given you the challenge, a dare to discover, think, power, and what it means to be actually and positively. For language, your own Nxgger words, could well be a final means to your salvation and survival. I have instructed you on the history of how it is made. I have instructed you in the first steps towards freedom, that you fear not to dare in your search to find a God of your own being and likeness. I have spoken to you in parable of justice and her sister liberty, and you might see how closely the two are related, of our Nxgger neurosis. The fault, but in ourselves. How can you find your identity articulated, your experiences, in an order of words, language, which was created and conceived by people who did not even know of your black existence? In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. So says the ancient scriptures, Judeo-Christian, Holy Sacred Hebrew, Latin, Caucasianly approved, Nxgger adopted. BS. Beginning of everything was first the experience. The word came later. The first words that you learned were theirs. For they are black words. The ones that you have been taught are white. Freeing their minds and spirits. Look, listen, analyze, dissect, reject. Black penis, black organ. One of the biggest preoccupations of this Caucasian Judeo-Christian civilization. Where does the original act of copulation take place? Where did man learn this act? It is our second biggest civilized Judeo-Christian preoccupation. Nature is the feminine aspect of God. A woman is to man God's design, but nature fulfills. The Father elected to take nature as his bridesmaid on a love couch named Earth for the conception of their children called mankind. In my Genesis, in the beginning, we were all here in a paradise together, black, white, red, yellow aspects of man. Christopher Columbus discovered a new world. He did not know. Christopher Columbus decided, come on, my son, that he had only rediscovered an old one, the original garden. Columbus himself, in his ship logs, which are hardly ever included in the historical textbook, revealed that he had sighted black Africans on this continent as he sailed in to make his discovery. Tribal African chiefs who bartered their first black bodies of their men, women, and children into bondage of slavery to obtain the graces and good favor for himself from Christian missionaries and Caucasian traders, whose pale skin he preferred to that of his own. Legalized red light district, with the natives who live there named Storyville. The decent elements of the city, white and black, fled. The common-bred ERs, who moved right in alongside the depraved white trash, who elected to remain there. Storyville grew to reach its peak around 1911, but in 1918, during World War I, it showed very few signs of being on the decline, for it boasted of more than 18,000 working prostitutes. 3/4 of its whores were black women. That is a crazy place to end. Wow. I mean, it's an interesting book, I must say. A lot hard to digest, a lot hard to read, and I'm not saying a lot on point, but a lot that this man at this time was digesting for what he had in his resources, and he was putting it in place so he could show you his mental trajectory and what he was understanding and what he thought he could drop out there as seeds, so to see what germinated and what bore good fruit. To make mistakes, to be fallible, is human, right? We need to get rid of that idol worship. This is what happens. You know you're in idol worship is when those people who you revere, when they fall, you point and laugh. You say, see, I told you so. Or you lose faith in what they were doing, saying, preaching, teaching, or what it may be. Everybody falls. That's the human condition. But what are they trying to understand? What are they trying to put forth as understanding? Farmers farm all the time and plant seeds. Not everything grows right, but you try your best. You do your best. And when you find something that grows, you revere that and you treat it well. You help foster that development so it can produce seed that becomes viable and strong, and grow with that. And with each succeeding generation, you improve. Trajectory. Continued improvement. These were selected readings from our library. Today we read from Brother Robert H. Decoy from the Nxgger Bible. Absolutely crazy. Intense book. Read this back in the day. My wifey had it when I first met her. You know, when I was dating, when I was a youngin', go to the lady's house, look at the library, or if they had one. My queen, which I married, sure did have a library. From Maya Angelou to the Nxgger Bible and everything in between. How to volunteer, volunteerism, social networking. So you can tell a lot. Read books. Underline what's in them so you can see where you were at late years down the road. Or your children can understand where you were coming from. Or anybody who reads these can see what you were digesting. Because if it was helping you digest and grow forward, it might help them digest and grow forward. Legacy. Sun, Moon, and Stars. Baba Shabazz of the Black Rose Nation. Reading a book a day, or at least for half the month, or 3/4 or something. This is our Black History Month series. If you find benefit from these, please like, share, and subscribe, and definitely buy books. We're in New Brunswick, Canada. Same pieces of fam. Level up. It's nation time.